We are back with Rev Garage, revenuegarage.com. I'm Justin Michael. I host cold call competitions. I finally found a niche in my life. We have here Luigi Prestinenzi. He goes by Louis, and he's one of the best cold callers in the world. I believe he is a trainer that has been training reps around the world at a high level and executives who still makes cold calls to this day. So he actually eats his own dog food, as they say here in the States. How are you, Louis?
Good, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for participating in this cold call competition, Knockout 2. We want to thank the sponsors, Slintel, Lead IQ, Vidyard, Connect and Sell, and let's see, Revenue Grid and Salesborgs.ai. And I think I got them all. And yeah, I'm hosting. We're looking about methodologies. That's what the whole Rev Garage thing is about. It's about cold calling methods, openers, hybrids. What's going through your head while you're doing this? I want to
Yeah.
thank Connect and Sell as well. The weapon of mass conversation. Don't call it a dialer. So if you can hit the green button, literally, it's a green button,
Yeah.
and start making money. We are here to record the fireworks, like from the Sydney Opera House. And oh yeah, Louis is based in Sydney, Australia, which is also cool.
Okay, we're going live. We're dialing.
Ooh, dialing.
We've already dialed one person. How
Yes.
good's that person?
There you go. Yeah.
Two
So you
people.
should be. I'm thinking you're going to connect every 3 minutes. It's usually connect every 41 dials on average.
What's going to be pretty cool, Justin, today we're using the combo prospecting methodology, right? The one that you're quite familiar with.
Yeah.
Tony Hughes. So one of two things are going to happen. We're either going to get some quality conversations going, and we're going to get some people that are going to be pretty pissed that we're ringing them. But the ICP, mid-market, tech and SaaS, by personas, we've gone right to the top, chief sales officers and SVPs. So we should expect them to be more abrupt. Now, I'm going to be rude. If somebody comes through, I'm just going to completely stop talking to you.
That's okay, man. I know. I won't take it personal. Well, I mean, you've been doing calls for a long time. How do you stay motivated? I mean, we're also just fielding some questions. I mean, it's mindset's a lot, attitude's a lot. We've seen a whole array of tonality. Are you thinking about that anymore? Or you just kind of have a game time vibe that you go for? Like, what's going through your head before you connect?
Well, as you know, mate, I was just listening to some Avicii, just getting me up and about, because it is pretty early here. However, my thinking around all this is it doesn't matter what the outcome of the call is, because I've always got another call to make. We're living in a world now where data should never be a problem. We live in a world of abundance. It's not a scarce market. There's so many people that need what we have to offer. We make a positive difference in people's lives. So that's a compelling reason for me to talk to these people. If they can't see the opportunity that I'm going to put in front of them, then it's their loss, not mine. Yeah. Because I know the impact that we have on people. Ideally, I would like them because I want to beat Richard. That's my objective today.
It's like the first message is just so altruistic, like heal the world. And it's like, I'm here to beat Steve Richard. Let's be honest here. This is a sport.
Right. Come on, man. This is a competition, man. Like, if I walk away with my tail between my legs, I'm not going to be feeling pretty good.
I thought we would get you with the Xbox raffle, but it's more the glory of the win.
Just to make sure I
Yeah,
remember
so
the recorded line. So I've got my playbook. You know my playbook. I've got my play. I've got some of my
yeah,
questions. I've got my strategy. I've got my structure. I've done my research on the buyer persona. So I've earned the right to make these calls. Again, however, I can't control what the buyer says. So I shouldn't take it personal if the buyer says to me, I don't want to engage with you. Will I fuck it up? Sorry, I've forgotten a lot of swear. Will I muck it up? Potentially.
we can edit that. It's okay. It's only a couple countries. We can't play that in. Just kidding, man. It's okay. It's we're all sellers here. As far as persona mindset, it's a rejection dense industry. That's what makes it so hard. People like social media. They're getting rejected. They just don't feel it. They don't feel the sting. There's an immediacy to this.
And what's pretty cool, so we dialed 58 people. So based on
We should connect any minute.
data, any minute we should have a call drop through. And what's pretty cool, when the call drops through, we know He's been waiting for our call, right? He's been waiting.
I
Universe is
love that.
telling me.
Yeah, I used to have a sign on my phone that just said money. It had like a money sign. It's like, because I used to dial in the old days, 7 out of 10 people picked up, but then it was a lot of gatekeepers or other problems. So,
Mate, I've already pushed 60 calls this morning, man. Look, 60 calls I've done, mate.
I
Back in the day.
know you seem like you're tired picking up the receiver.
Come on, let's get someone.
Just making sure your tech's working. I have a lot of the behind the scenes. I want to thank everyone who's helped us put this together, from the Revenue Garage team to the sponsors. So it always looks like a magic trick, but there's quite a lot of technology going on. I don't know if this could have been done to.
Chris.
Yes.
Luigi from Sales IQ Global calling on a recorded line. Mate, I know you're busy, so I'll be quick. I'm calling because I've got a couple of ideas on how you can scale your sales growth in a way that drives more.
No, thank you, sir.
Mate, do you mind if I ask you a quick question? All right, we lost him. So there we go, guys. That is the power of the cold
I
call.
want to point out you stayed very calm, and that was awesome, because most people react, and you just stayed calm. That's the difference 10,000 hours later, is you just don't really feel it. Like, people can lose it on me emotionally. Make sure to hit dial again. Are you dialing again?
Yeah. So I'm just putting my
just
notes.
Put like bad number or wrong answer, and then just keep moving or disposition it.
The funny thing is, for anybody that's watching right now, right, is these sales leaders that we're calling that can be quite abrupt and be hanging up on us. It's totally okay with me. However, they've got salespeople doing exactly the same thing that we're doing, right? So it's a really interesting dynamic that they can be completely abrupt. But that's okay. No hard feelings from my end. Now, normally when I do these type of calls, though, Justin, just a caveat on this is I like to have a little bit more research done so I can have something. Dylan.
Hello?
Dylan, it's Luigi from Sales IQ Global calling in a recorded line. Mate, I know you're busy, so I'll be quick. The purpose of my call is calling about, got a couple of ideas on how you can scale your sales team's growth in a way that drives more net new pipeline opportunities. Do you have some time now to chat, or when can we find some time in the calendar? It's Gonskis. Okay, next call.
Good. That's all. I mean, it's par for the course. Everybody watching at home who's making cold calls today is going to get that all day. If you're not feeling the sting of the hangups, you are not dialing enough. So bring it on. Every no leads to a yes.
That's right. We've had a few connected calls. Not much I can do there, right? I can't really handle an objection that he doesn't raise. That's a rejection.
Yeah, there's some of those. I mean, I had someone say, not interested. Like, how can you be not interested? I didn't even tell you why I'm calling. I haven't told, and it actually, I kept someone on the phone just to prove I could, but it's kind of hard to handle that one. What's the funniest one you've ever done to keep someone on the phone? Or that was just like the funniest thing you've seen on a cold call? I mean, you've been doing a lot.
Oh, geez, the funniest thing I've ever seen, to keep him on the phone. That's interesting. I think I said to somebody, right, if I can't get you interested in 10 more seconds, you can hang up on me. And he hung up on me. And then I rang him back. I said, I think the line got cut off. And the guy laughed and gave me some time. Yeah, I've had some interesting cold calls.
I mean, I get threatened a lot. I don't know. I'm pretty nice on the call. I'm not sure what it is, but I have good call control. So I don't know if that reminds them of like an authority figure. I have no idea. But sometimes, I get some pretty elaborate and precise threats.
Adam. G'day, Adam. It's Luigi from Sales IQ Global. Luigi from Sales IQ Global, mate. I know you're busy, so I'll be really quick. Reason for my call is I've got a couple of ideas on how you can scale your sales growth with your sales team in a way that drives more net new opportunities in the pipe. I was hoping to have a chat with you for a couple of minutes. No, hang up. Another one. Good. Feedback, Justin?
I couldn't quite hear that one. I don't know if it
Yeah,
was
I
the
couldn't hear it either.
speakerphone. It was just a garbled one, the telephony.
And he had a call going on in the background as well. Yeah, I think he was on a Zoom. So that's right. We've had 3 calls.
Keep rolling. Just you're connecting every 3 minutes. You might not know it. Time slows down. It's deceptive, but you're getting good connect rate still. I'm watching on the back end. I may look like I just sit here and smile, but there's a whole. That's what I used to do on cold calls actually, back when I was like 22. They'd ask me a question. Oh, let me look it up in my system. I pretend I had this big computer system. I didn't. I had like a pad of paper. I said like this, but I would always use the object. They'd be like, "Can you look that up in your database?" I was like, "Yeah, hold on a second." Put them on hold. I'm just like sitting in a cubicle, just like pretending I'm looking. Oh yeah, now I like come back to it. But it created an interesting drama where they thought I was like sitting in a Minority Report, with just like all their data. Um, those are the days. I was trained in the Glenn Ross school, the 27 closes, like the intelligent close, make them think they're intelligent. Or, when you shake their hand, you close your hand, just that's like a sign of dominance. Then you'll get the deal. You push the pen, this old school stuff.
Techniques. All right, come on, let's get someone. $83, man. It's pretty good. 10 minutes.
You're going to get there.
We got 34 voicemails, 4 bad numbers.
I always just remember exactly what I was doing when I was manually dialing those lists, and I would go through 8 hours to just hit 100 numbers and get like 3 executive assistants in the Fortune 1000. Just brutal. So that's really where combo comes from, is just leaving a lot of voicemails. But when you have, good data in a parallel assisted dialer, or like a platform for dialing, it's sufficient.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. Well, we need to get the narrative right. So might have to speed up the tempo a little bit if they're being a bit abrupt. It's kind of it's an opening close technique.
I love that you have a playbook and a script. That's awesome. You have your own methodology, and kind of get into the rebuttals and how you're going to manage this stuff. What's your typical routine? Like how many calls do you normally make? What's your ICP? Who are you calling? Are you calling mainly VPs of sales, or?
Yeah, look, I call VPs of sales, sales directors, general managers of sales. I try to go mid-market businesses with a larger type of sales force. I mean, it's funny, as you know, with the combo model, like we're leading with phone, but there should be other multiple touches that we're making. So this is one of the things that people aren't seeing, is that in the background, what we usually do is if they don't answer, we'll send them a text, leave a voicemail, we'll send them an email. So we'll do a combination approach. The calendar invite works. I'm getting people all over that we're coaching that say, man, I just sent a calendar invite, they accepted, or they offered an alternative time.
Yeah, it's pretty assertive to do that. I've heard people like doing FaceTime drops, calendar invite. I mean, and then text is hard. You got to get opt in for text. But if you can get text, it can be powerful later in the sales process.
All right, so still waiting. I think, and the other key is, right, whenever you're cold calling, because this is legitimate cold calling, right? We're not doing a whole bunch of research outside of the ICP and the buyer persona. It's not to take it personal, and we're getting rejected. It's the difference between a rejection and an objection, right? An objection is something that people need more information before progressing. A rejection is you don't have the opportunity to engage with them. Something I learned from Jeb Blunt.
Yeah, talk to me about that. JetBlend has things like, the ledge, the whole rebuttal thing. I know Tony talks about if you're getting rebuttals, you might, like, it was cool. Like the first person on this call was Rob Turley, who's the CEO and founder, and he didn't get any objections. It was amazing. He just kept saying, I'm the founder, and they would listen, and there was no objections on his calls. It's kind of wild.
That's pretty cool.
but he wasn't necessarily asking for time either. He was just kind of like doing these exploratory questions. Like he's didn't come from a sales angle, which was also, he was very non-salesy, and that was also like the prospects just wanted to talk, you know.
Waiting for more dolls.
When did you first start cold calling? I mean, I'm not trying to, explain how long you've been in sales. I mean, for me, it's actually
17,
been 20
17,
years.
17 doing this when the call would drop, and it'd be
Yeah.
reselling death insurance, hotel packages, um, telecommunications, trying to get people to convert from one provider to another. And it would literally drop in. You'd sit there, headset on, and they'd drop into mum and dad's. Sometimes he didn't even have the name. He just said P. Johnson. Mr. P. Johnson there. You know?
Yeah, I did inbound, it was like this huge queue of calls, and it was a 9-minute script, and I took credit cards.
Laura.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, Laura. Luigi from Sales IQ Global. Look, I know you're busy, so I'll be quick. The reason for my call is I've got a couple of ideas on how you can enable your sales team to create more net new opportunities and in a way that drives down your costs per acquisition. Have you got a couple of minutes now to chat, or when can we find some time in the calendar?
I'm sorry, what does your company do?
So we're a sales enablement firm. We help organizations build capability within their sales team to drive more net new opportunities using a predictable outbound methodology that's used by companies like Salesforce, Red Hat, and SAP.
Okay, I don't handle that. If you want to send me an email, I could try to find out who does and forward it to them.
Okay, no problems. Are you, so you're, who would be the best person for me to talk to?
I don't know. That's what I said. If you can send me an email, I will try to find out for you and forward your email.
Okay, fantastic. Can I grab your email, and what type of information would you like me to send through?
Just send what you're looking for, what your company does, and who you're looking to talk to.
Okay, great. And do you mind if I grab your email address, please?
Yeah, it's Lyrick, LWYRICK.
Okay, great. I'll shoot through an email.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll shoot through an email with some further information.
Okay.
And I'll also send my LinkedIn handle. And that way, if you want to forward that on to anybody else, that'll be really great.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks for your time.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. All right.
Oh, she was in a good mood. You were so nice. I mean, it was funny. I mean, that was good. So you kill him with kindness. That's what I really believe. I don't have time to change my emotional state because I got to go to the next call. It's like Dory the fish. It's like, who's this? Who's that? It's like the more I can, your IQ can get in the way. You kind of have to forget where you are and just have a consistent script and take every call as your first hello, because you can't bring irritation or negativity from one call to another. And it's fine. It's just much harder calls than that. But
my phone just dropped off the platform, so it's just going to call me now.
No worries. I want to thank the sponsors. RevenueGarage.com. We got Lead IQ, Slintel, Vidyard, Connect and Sell, Revenue Grid, and Salesborgs.ai, which is little site I'm putting together. We're not sure what the AI is yet. That's the joke. And I'm Justin Michael. I host cold call competitions, and there's been a couple ever. So if you know of one, let me know. I'm trying to make some world history here, and fun employed, as they say. And this is Luigi Prestinenzi. He goes by Louis from Sales IQ. And we're dialing. Are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
So that was an interesting call. So, obviously she wasn't the right person to speak to. And then I noticed her role. She wasn't the SVP. So that's interesting. This is one of the reasons why you probably should check your data thoroughly before popping it into a system like this.
It is a data game. It's a data game. And, I actually advocate people purchase multiple data sources and get human verified data and really think about their data and test data. And, there's actually no magic bullet on data.
Mm.
And even tech stacks too. Test tech stacks and test, see what works for your business. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so hopefully we get the next one. So we got our email address. Need to send us some follow-up info.
I've been having fun with telling people that's what I do for a living. It's just like these cold call competitions, and some contestants they're like, okay, great, yeah, that makes sense. But it's really cool to see the different methods. So you're very calm in the approach. Do you ever get more excitable, or are you keeping calm on purpose to control the caller? Like, is it's
I
also
want,
early there?
I want to maintain my energy levels because I get very excited and I'm very fast paced. So my social style is very, very fast paced. But on these calls, I can't be too fast paced. Now, depending on how they answer the phone, will dictate how I respond. So I use tonality as a key to try to build some form of, you know, sort of mirroring techniques. Now, usually, again, SVPs, they're short, they're abrupt, they're rude, right? I know that. So I cannot be super fast paced because it's gonna collide with them. So um, I need to get the narrative right. And we've had, how many connections have we had so far today? We've had 6. 2. What do we have? We had 3 hung up. We had one lady say, send me some information, and then I did 2 test dials beforehand. So look, I don't think it's a narrative that's incorrect. I think the narrative based on the research that we've done is actually quite accurate. This is somewhat, it's a process. And again, for anyone watching, the dial is part of a bigger piece of in your cadence. There are other touch points. You've got to send an email bump. You've got to send a video. You've got to send a LinkedIn note. Because there's how many other people? If you're doing this, there's 100 and Jeff. No, it's dropped out. Okay, take position.
Well, Jeff, he fell off. Keep going.
Right. So
Yeah, your point about omni-channel is critical. When we're talking about methods, what's cool about these techniques is there's a hybridization of some of the things you're doing on the phone. So you might pull something out of combo, but you might do something from John Barrows, like the reason for my call. I mean, that's probably been around in a lot of systems, but the Aaron Ross, like, did I catch you at a bad time? Or this whole Chris Voss thing, negative labeling, where you're like, you don't know me. Or, Sandler, like, I hate making calls. Don't you hate getting them? And
I mean,
humor, and there's,
I just think, from my perspective, let's just get straight to it as quick as we can. And it allows them to know, because we've got a very short period of time to engage with them. They're thinking, who are you? Where are you calling from? And what am I going to get out of me giving you some time? One of the things that I love about Anthony Norino is he talks about the commitment stages to close doesn't just occur at the end of the sales process. The very first level of commitment we need to get is a commitment of time, right? It's the very first thing. We need to get them to give us some time. That's the very first close that we make. So my objective in this first initial part of the process is just to get them on the call, is just to get something, compel them, say something that's going to pique their interest, to go, yes, I am looking to drive more net new opportunities. That's what's in every CSO's mind right now. I need to get more opportunities into the pipe, and I need to drop down my cost per acquisition, right? So those 2 key benefits or things that we're going to talk about will hopefully compel them to stay on the call. Then it's my ability to engage with them, ask them some questions, and get them to a point of, yeah, I could see some value from this. Art Showback talks about the possible value prop. The value prop we think might not be accurate. It's a possible value prop. Yeah. It possibly might be relevant to them. We won't know until we talk to them. Doesn't matter how much research we do. At the end of the day, until we engage with them, until we have a conversation, we're not going to know if there's alignment there. The only way, any seller watching this, right? Look, I failed a couple of times. People are hanging up on me. It's okay. They can keep doing. I can go through this whole session today. If I get hung up on every single time, it's not going to stop me from doing what I do. It's not going to stop me from getting another 5, 10 appointments in my calendar next week. Not at all, right? Because the reality of what we do is we need to be talking to people. If we're not talking to people, we're not able to have commercial conversations about what they need and about what we do and see if there's an alignment, right? That is the reality of what we do. Conversations are key to enabling us to do what we do. Now, there's a whole lot of other stuff that needs to be happening behind this. LinkedIn, building your brand, networking, getting referrals. If you're only dependent on one channel, you're in a lot of trouble, right? So you need to make sure this is part of a broader cadence of touch points when you're going to market. And again, if I walk away from this session today, not making one appointment, not making any points, and Richard beats me, I'll be upset that he beats me. But I'm not going to walk away and my confidence ain't going to be battered, because I know what I do, and I know what I do well, and I know my weaknesses. But ultimately, this is a process. And anyone that tells you it's not a numbers game, probably stop listening to them, because fundamentally everything we do is a numbers game. If they're saying inbound's the next best thing, it's a numbers game. Inbound converts at a certain rate, it's a numbers game. Okay, you need to bring a shitload in the top of the funnel. Chris Walker talks about that, the MQL hamster wheel, and you're going to get X amount at the end of the funnel, right? But this should be a really good example of why mindset matters and why we need to make sure we don't take it personally when people hang up on us. Anyway, there's my rant. There's my kind of...
People typically don't say that I'm a good listener, but whenever I'm on camera with hundreds of people watching, then I become a good listener. But no, I mean, I've been the host of this, so we need to get some Louis. Like, what's the Luigi Prestinenzi method? Like, how does he eat a Reese's? And what's going through your head? You've really stressed more than other contestants the need for the omni-channel approach, and I'm sure they're thinking it too, but they're focused on the calls now. But even if you don't have something dialing behind the scenes, the voicemails are really powerful. Having some human touch, something that's a video drop or voice drop, it's like, oh, video doesn't work. Well, one of our sponsors is Video. It works as part of a blend.
Correct. I use it in the second bump, in my second part of the cadence. I will send a video, plus also use video. You've got a little video throughout your process, proposal stage, post-discovery stage, nurturing the opportunity stage. Man, you can use video throughout. LinkedIn voice drops. I mean, they've got a whole range of opportunities to engage the prospect and earn the right to get an opportunity, to get the opportunity to talk to them. And that's what it's all about. But again, the thing that I love about which any outreach attempt you make, whether it's email, phone, LinkedIn, door knocking, sending them, a card or whatever, if we get rejected, if they don't respond, it's okay. There's thousands and thousands of more people out there for you to talk to. You're never going to have an empty bucket of prospects out there, right? Just remember that. But at least
I hear that a lot. There, it's like, well, in my industry, there's only 200 people you can call. I'm like, 200 people? I mean, there's 8 billion people. You might need to serve a slightly larger industry there. I mean, come on.
You need to relook at your TAM, mate. You need to relook at your market.
I guess someone posted on LinkedIn it was a beekeeping service for like green beehives on the roof of business buildings in like a major US city, and they had a staff of 80 to install green beehives. So I mean, let's just open the niche a little.
Disappointed that your audience is seeing more conversations. We've only had a few conversations today.
There'll be more. You're actually connecting every 3 minutes. I have some people behind the scenes tracking.
Adam.
Yes.
Adam, Luigi from Sales IQ Global calling on a recorded line. Mate, I know you're busy, so I'll be quick. The reason for my call is I have a few ideas on how you can enable your sales team to create more net new opportunities.
Good, thank you.
Mate, can I just take you for 10 seconds? Nah, Gonskis.
I thought you had him. It was very convincing. I felt like he was still on the line. These are tough operators. You're calling CROs, right?
Yeah, chief sales officers, SVPs, man. Well, like I was thinking about, do we go kind of a bit lower because you'll get more conversations happening? But again, like that's the person that I want to be talking to ultimately that's going to be making the decision. They're the ultimate decision maker. And again, I thought for the purpose of this exercise today, I want to show people that anyone that we can go as high, like we can go to the CEO, and anyone says that they can't get the CEO on the phone. I've had the CEO of the second biggest bank in Australia on the phone. I've had the CEO of the biggest telco in Australia on the phone using the combo approach, calling at the shoulders of the day. It works. My strategy for them, given that they're so high up, A, I just wanted to test and show people that it works. B, I wanted to get delegated down, and it worked. I got delegated down. CSOs, though, is I know that if I get them into a conversation about this sort of stuff, there's a high chance that I can progress the opportunity with them, and they'll bring other staff in or other people into that conversation, right? Especially mid-market. It's going to be a community decision. He'll probably bring in his sales enablement head, maybe somebody else. So there'll probably be 3 people as part of that sales process. But again, I thought for the purpose of today, let's just go straight to the top. Show your listeners that it's okay. You're going to get a lot of people that are going to be quite, these people are abrupt. Like, mate, salespeople, we can be rude, right? And these CSOs were us at one point in their career, right? They were sales folks. Hopefully they were sales folks. If they just went from university to become a CSO, you know what? I don't know much about selling, right? So how could they coach and lead and develop strategy, man? So but most of these people we're ringing have been in our seat before.
That's true. I always think it's crazy where they're like, "Oh, I don't take calls," and it's like the VP of sales of CRO. It's like, "I don't take calls from sales." It's like, isn't that what your salespeople should be doing?
That's right. So you're telling me your people aren't taking calls? How did you get my mobile number? Oh, okay, great. That's why we need to talk. How did you get my cell number? Well, that's why we need to talk. Because you need lead IQ. All right. Did you like that plug? Aren't they a sponsor?
Yes, we're plugging some of the sponsors. We have Slintel, we have Lead IQ, we have multiple data sponsors. We have Connect and Sell, Vidyard, and Revenue Grid, and we're thankful for the sponsors. And that's what I do. I thank sponsors professionally. I'm getting better at it. I think after 10 of these matches, I will finally remember it. I'm sure I'm forgetting one. And viewers like you, and the great city of New South Wales. God save the Queen. Isn't the Queen of England somehow still involved in Australia? Isn't this? I heard this is a thing. There's like a Queen's Day.
Yeah, no, like Canada. I think Canada's. Oh, no, come on. Yeah, so I changed my narrative a bit. Before it was help scale. Now it's about enabling to drive more net new opportunities into the pipeline.
All right, we're going to keep going. We're with Luigi Prestinenzi. We're doing some cold calls. We're using a parallel assisted dialer. So we're dialing a lot of dials. It's in the middle of a Thursday, lunchtime. We get Zoom calls. We're just trying to break through. We've had some connections, and we just got to, keep dialing. What was the best cold call you ever had? How about that? Do you remember it, or the flavor of it? When I think of it, it's the style.
Actually, I think the best call I ever had was one when I spoke to the guy and he said, well, actually, it's funny you're calling now because I've just been speaking to my sales enablement head and we're talking about how we can do, more outbound. And that's the thing. And again, like, I reference a lot of books because they've been my coaches over the years, but, Mike Weinberg talks about that, right? You got to be the, you can create, you can be the rainmaker. So just because the data says, people are, Dan.
Yeah.
G'day, Dan. Luigi from Sales IQ. Mate, I know you're busy, so I'll be quick. The reason for my call is I've got a couple of ideas on how you can enable your sales team to create more net new opportunities in a way that drives down your cost per acquisition. Do you have some time now to chat, or when can we find some time in the calendar? Okay, hung up. Another one. It's cool. All right, so we lost that one. I actually thought I would have got that guy.
I thought you were there, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Disappointing.
Just keep rolling. Got to keep rolling. It's a lesson in positivity. It's early there too, right? How early? I mean, you got up super early. Thank you for that.
6:30, man.
Oh,
Right.
zero dark 30. I know I get up sometimes really early on different time zones. I see these call blitzes where I have to, start calling at 3 a.m. like a Red Bull, all day Red Bull kind of thing. We made like 150 calls, but then there's this guy in my group who was on here, Zeke. He does 300 a day, and it's just I'm in like SaaS, like software as a service, like 50 a day, maybe 100 a day if you're kind of crazy, but like in insurance, 300
Yeah.
calls a day. I was just, dear, yeah. I mean, and then he's like working with new people, like gotta get to 300. It's just so intense just thinking about that volume. That's the thing. This is really a showcase of methodologies on Revenue Garage, of the different ways that people approach. We're highlighting the approaches. Um, have you used different call approaches and you've fallen into this new one for different reasons? What was working like, say, 5 years ago? Has the space changed?
I used to use that. Look, is now a good time to chat? Do you have time now? Like, but I kind of moved away from that. I've used the leading with insight method. Hey, calling to share some insight with you about X. But again, you got to tailor it to the audience. So for somebody like this type of C-level person, we've got to be very direct. Because as you can see, this is the type of response that you'll get, right? This is not uncommon for anyone that does calls like we do. This is not uncommon when you're calling really high, like top of the tree. You will get many people hanging up on you. If you're not comfortable with that, learn to get comfortable or change the person that you're calling in an organization. Go lower, get an influencer to try to bring in the decision maker. So it all comes down to your sales strategy. So again, if you're not comfortable getting this sort of rejection, then go lower, get an influencer. They're not the decision maker, but the sales cycle might take longer because you're going to have to go up, bring them down into the decision-making process. Yeah. So what you want to do, you want to have a blended approach. Do I do that? Yes, I do. I've got that level of people that I'm working with right now that are my influencers that are bringing in people into the sales process. You need to have a combination of both because this can be brutal, man. If you do this day on day, getting rejection after rejection, it can impact your confidence levels. So be mindful of it. Have that blended approach.
You
The
said the
other
shoulders of the day, the best time to call. Sorry to jump in, but you're saying the shoulders of the day. You're saying like 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Just like
I'm
kind of.
calling them during the day. This is not optimal right now because they're busy. They're in meetings. They're on Zoom. Probably kids at home if they're working from home. They've got a whole range of things. So I should be really calling them earlier or later when they've got less on their plate, right? And that's when we're a bit more fresh to talk. So there's a whole range of things that we could be doing differently right now that'll get us a different outcome. But when I think about it, what have I had? I've had seven people. One person said, send me some more info. 6 people hung up on me. It's like not the end of the world, man, right? I can deal with that every day of the week. And again, if you're doing it properly, if you're doing it with an omni-channel approach, the people that I'm not engaging with, I'm sending them an email. I'm getting responses back. There's activity happening, right? So, I will be getting my 2-3 sales qualified booked appointments a day if I do this every day. The other thing is you've got to make sure that you follow your cadence. So if I'm calling today, they don't answer, I send a text, I send a message. Make sure your follow-up is occurring. You can't be like, oh, I've done a call today, sent an email, doesn't work. Okay, Jack, right? So I'm going to the gym once. I'm going to the gym, I'm not getting buff. You got to go again and again. You got to go consistency, man. Like if you're going to do time blocking for prospecting twice a week, do it twice a week. If you're going to do it 5 days, do it 5 days. Just friggin' do it. But it's got to be consistent. Don't tell me it doesn't work when you're not doing it consistently. If I run and I run once a week, like I've just been done, I said, yeah, I'm going to run a marathon again. I haven't ran for a while. I started running. I built my load up too quick. Bang. I did my calf. That's on me, man, right? Because I didn't give my body time to build up. And I didn't have that consistency running. So with anything, you've got to be consistent. You can't expect result without that level of consistency. And like I said, look, ultimately, I want to walk away from today being richer. But if that doesn't occur, then that's okay. Hopefully your listeners will take away that my mindset's the same. I'm not feeling any different. My confidence levels haven't been hit because that's my strategy. Maybe the next one we do, I'll call mid-level ones And you'll see a completely different reaction from mid-level, from VPs of sales versus the top CSOs, SVPs, right? You'll get a different reaction. Okay. Because the other thing is with the CSO, they're under significant pressure right now. Yeah. Drive down costs. The business is all about drive down costs, right? Spend less on marketing, but I still need you to give me a high number. What's some of the things that are happening in their business? Sales cycles are getting longer. Sales sizes are getting smaller, right? So that's a big issue for them. Oh, Michael.
Hello?
Michael, it's Luigi from Sales IQ Global. Mate, I know you're busy, so I'll be quick. The reason for my call is I've got a couple of ideas on how you can enable your sales team to create more net new opportunities in a way that drives down. You there, Michael? Hung up again. All right, hung up.
No luck, no luck. It's all good.
All right. Now, what do we do? Do we change it?
I can stay on it. I mean, I don't think there's any phone number to change.
No, we change the I can change the approach, but we're only.
It's about 20 minutes.
Seven.
Yeah, try to ask a different question. Oh yeah. I think I did ask this. The best times to call. I sort of clarified at the end of the day. But tell us. Jeremy has a question. The best times to call and why, really? Because you said it's the ends of the day, the shoulders of the day. If you just take us into why.
Because they're not in the thick of things. Yeah, they're not sitting there. Their phones ringing, customers calling, sales team on the road asking questions. They're kind of in their time. It's like that's also when I try to engage with people on LinkedIn, those type of people on LinkedIn, because they're a bit more active earlier in the day or later at night. I have some great conversations at 8, 9 p.m. with people because they're checking their LinkedIn box, they're looking. Because if they work during the day, they're busy, like they're actually doing shit. They're not sitting there, waiting for somebody to call or sitting there on social scrolling. That's not what they're doing. If they're managing a sales team, they're managing a P&L. If they're managing commercial contracts and legal contracts and a whole range of things, they've got a whole lot of stuff on their plate, right? So, that's why we want to get them a little bit earlier or a little bit later in the day. Look, fundamentally, COVID has made some significant changes in that space because people are at home, and that's why they're answering their cell more and more than ever before. And remember, email open rates have dropped since COVID came into play. So if you're leading by email, be very careful. Email-led campaigns can be very difficult to engage with people. So there's a whole range of factors here that we've got to be thinking about. Would I change my approach right now? Now, I've only had 6 people hang up on me. It's not enough to tell me that what I'm ringing, the way that my narrative is wrong. It's not enough. I need to get to 20, 30 to 40 before I go, you know what? I need to make an alteration. That's the other thing. Don't allow a small batch to impact your process. It's not enough data. Jeremy Donovan shares some insane content. He shares some incredible data, and that's really good data set. So again, you need a good set of data before making a significant change to your process, okay?
I'm just double checking. The dialer is moving, right? You can see it on your screen?
Yeah, we've done $237, man.
Awesome. It's moving. Perfect. Keep going. Just double checking the tech is rolling. Yeah. Appreciate everything you're saying. And talk about books. Like, where do you go to learn cold calling? Can you learn it in a book?
Should take an hour to read. Most salespeople like me, come on. We're not really big readers. We'll skim through them. We'll look at things. If we like them, we'll engage with it. But Og Mandino's book's quality, man. It's quality. It's a quality book. It's an old book. It's more mindset than tactics, because that's what, for me, sales is about mindset. Spewing. Could have rang Ring DNA. he looks like he didn't answer. That's the other thing. The other thing that I'm not doing, which is a little bit different to my normal approach, is I'm not adding a level of personalization. So it's not allowing me, like usually I'd put a personalization, which is use a trigger event. Hey, congratulations on the recent, like if we were to call Clary right now, Kyle Coleman, our good friend at Kyle Coleman, they've just had a successful capital raise. Just bear with me, Justin, because the dialer has stopped. How do I dial back in?
No problem. Yeah, just maybe restart, like go right back in from the main 800 number, and type your password. We still have 15 minutes.
Right, I'll just do that now. But just going back onto that Kyle Coleman run, right? Like they've just had a successful capital raise at Clary. So that's a really good trigger event to actually use. Not straight away. Like if you call him the same day, he's probably going to get inundated.
Yeah, talk to us about trigger events. That's a good topic. Let's get you back into the dialer, but as soon as you are, that's a really good theme.
I'll just get back in the dialer.
Thank you for calling.
Okay, I think Louis is dialing back in. He's muted. You don't have to mute. Okay.
So this is just how easy it is to use Connect and Sell. You just ring from your phone, dial in, and bang, we're off and running again. Yeah, like trigger events. So it allows you to use like something that'll connect them to the conversation. So whether it's they've changed role, they're recruiting, they've raised some capital. That's a good one because with that capital comes an expectation. They're using that capital for a certain desire. They want to either grow, increase market share, whatever that key thing is. So a trigger event allows you to show some form of connection. It'll pique their interest. Obviously, a personalization like a referral, you need to show them that you know them. So, hey, notice that you've recently done A, B, or C. The reason for my call is I'm not doing that right now. I'm just going straight in. I know you're busy, so I'll be quick. Okay, maybe I can take that out, John. I can go to a close. I can go to a close open. John, looking to get some time on your calendar to talk about ABC. How does that sound? Yeah, it's the close open or it's the open close model, right? But again, I haven't got enough. Like I've had six people hang up on me. It's not enough to say that my narrative is incorrect. But yeah, trying to use a personalization, show them that you know them, or trigger event is pretty important.
Here's a question. Personalization at scale or relevance at scale? Why or not? And is it the same thing?
I don't think, gosh, it's a really interesting question, right? Again, I think if you're using a proper methodology and you're doing omni-channel, email, LinkedIn, etc., you're going to have to do a little bit more research, more than I've done on the ICP here, right? This is purely phone-based stuff. But if you're sending follow-up emails, you want to make sure that you're personalizing a little bit more, and therefore you're going to get more response rate on your outreach efforts. Like Justin's Venn diagram, you can put the visualization in emails. There's a whole range of things that you can do. The other thing is think about the value of your opportunity, right? If you're selling something worth a couple of grand, you're not going to spend a whole bucket of time on the research phase. If you're selling something 500 a mil, a couple of $1 million, we want to invest more time. Your acquisition cost, your time to acquire that, you allow a bit more time. You want to do more research, yeah? Because the size of the deal will dictate how much research you should do. So historically, I've sold them deals in the millions. I did a lot of research on it. When I secured News Corporation in Australia, it was between $8 to $10 million. I did a significant piece of work, research piece.
I know that's one thing you do is mystery shopping. That's genius.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to give away that technique, but that's something
that's
that only you do, that I've been telling people to do. Sometimes, like not like broadly, but I think it's brilliant. The first person I saw was Grant Cardone. He would just go into a retail store and like no one would help him, and he'd send it to some executive like, "Hey, your sales process."
I got an email yesterday saying, "Hi, first name." Perfect. That's a perfect prospect for us, right? Because they're sending out, cold emails, and obviously something's wrong if they're saying hi, first name. It's automation gone wrong, right? So yeah, mystery shopping is another good way because it allows me to have some data and it gives me a point of view. Hi, John. If I said to Varane, say, John, recently mystery shopped your business. This was my experience. I've got some ideas. When can we chat? John's going to be more inclined to want to hear me out. I've recently mystery shopped you and your competitor. I've got a benchmark report I want to show you. He'll be keen to talk to me. I did it with BMW in Australia.
Yeah. You go through their funnel, like you sign up as a potential customer to their business, and then you can go in and like say what happened.
Right. So again, if you're selling something to them, you need to contextualize that. Or if you're trying to help them solve a particular problem, you need to contextualize it and identify the problem. The other thing is, remember you've got your, the obvious need, emerging need, unrecognized need. The minute you can identify an unrecognized need for somebody is you're creating significant value in the sales process. And then you actually are differentiating yourself from your competition. So this is a broader conversation than just a cold call. The cold call, the outreach attempt, is just about getting you a seat at the table to discuss what the customer's opportunities could be, right? Or the prospects. But there's a whole lot of things that you need to be considering. If you're an SDR listening to this is stuff that you really want to be considering. If you're looking to get into an age, or if you just want to stay an SDR, nothing wrong with it. I love doing this. I could do this every day of the week. And I can do it 8 hours a day. But my role's a bit more diverse. I think there's nothing more fun than hunting and picking up rocks and trying to find things underneath rocks and making it rain. Like it's the fucking best job in the world. But there's so many other things that are around this, right? Deal sizes. Yeah. I mean, you want to think about this. You want to be curious. You want to be thoughtful.
And again, that's how I stayed in the game. People ask, like, how did I dial for 20 years? Curiosity. I grew up collecting baseball cards. And so every person I contacted, how do you solve that? What do you use for this? What do you like? I don't know. I found a way to suspend my curiosity and it just, kind of like extend it out and be more interested. That kept me going. We still have about 8 minutes. I think you'll get some more connects.
Yeah. So we've had 6 people hang up on me. 6, 7 people hang up on me, which is not the expectation that I had. I wanted to beat Richard today, team.
I know. I almost feel like we should do a mulligan and let you go again on a different data set, but I can't control it. I'm just the MC again, Revenue Garage, and it is awesome to have you on here, Louis. Your website is salesiqglobal.com. Is that correct?
That's right.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, and another thank you to the sponsors: Lead IQ, Slintil, Vidyard, Connect and Sell, Revenue Grid, and Salesborgs.ai. And I'm Justin Michael. I never take off this hat anymore. It's pretty fun. Just wear it everywhere. I mean, that's kind of promotion. It's like an ad unit.
And connect with me on LinkedIn. Maybe you can share my LinkedIn handle with everyone. I don't share as much content as Justin, man. The guy's a machine because he actually is a machine. People don't know this, but he's not real.
I'm 49% human, which technically is an android.
I get messages from him at 1 a.m. my time, and I get messages from him at 1 a.m. his time. So I'm like, when does this guy sleep, man?
I've been sleeping more recently. I've been learning. I got melatonin. I got some calcium, magnesium, and zinc. Little red wine. I'll try anything. It's just. But sometimes, I take all that, and then I'll just be ready to go. Like I'll just be wired with creativity. As soon as you get up in the middle of the night, you're just like, you've got an idea. It's just like, I've got it. Like the flux capacitor. You want to email a prospect.
I get it. The Leonardo da Vinci model of sleeping. That's what you do.
I don't know if salespeople sleep that well, and I know like billionaires don't sleep. I mean, it's like 5 or 6 hours. It's like studies about, visionary people. I mean, a lot of salespeople, they're trying to figure out what's keeping the prospect up at night, but they're up late. I'll always just remember something, you know, that I was supposed to do. I was like, oh, I got to follow up on that thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, sleep's always a bit of a challenge, right? I mean, I get up at 3:30 a.m., so something's obviously something compelling me to get up early. All right, so we're still going through, but you know what? I still made $275 today, so and we're
Yeah.
not
We
even.
got 5 more minutes. Let's make it count. See if we can get one more call.
All it takes is that one call. That one call. I keep saying that one call.
Just want to see in action.
No, I did. You know, when I was doing kiosk sales, working. I'm not sure any of you have done like shopping center kiosk sales. And all it takes is that one person out of the whole day, 8 hours standing in a kiosk, one person to approach, and they want to engage with you, because that can be brutal.
I gotta think of it. Oh yeah, I used to do hundreds of calls a day, so many. And that's where I just came up with just leaving the voicemails because it was just a way to get the emails responded to. So yeah, I mean, make it count. Just because they're not responding to one channel doesn't mean that they're not hearing you. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, just to repeat, like what we've done today is not the model that we execute. The model we execute, it's a combination approach. It's an omni-channel, and it's about leveraging different channels to get a person to a point of action, right? The first thing you want to get is some form of response. People hanging up on me, okay, not the optimal response I'm looking for. Would I email him? Yes, I would. Just because he's hung up on me doesn't necessarily mean that prospect is not somebody I could engage with. Maybe I caught him at a really, really bad time. Maybe he's having a shit day, right? Or maybe she's not, you know, in the position to talk. If I send a follow-up note that says, hey, I called you, something happened, this is what I was discussing, does it make sense for us to chat? The worst thing they can say is no. Actually, the worst thing, they just don't respond, okay? It takes me 30 seconds, right? But they could say, look, you know what? Yeah, I didn't have the time right then. And you know, after reading this, maybe we should be chatting. I've had some of the best opportunities progress through my pipeline at like the 14th touch point of my cadence. The very kind of last ditch attempt. And they're like, you know what? I am keen to talk to you. Just think about that. Think about that one extra touch point. If you do that across your entire pipeline, what that could do for you. Now, again, this is cold. You know, a lot of us are dealing with cold. We're dealing with inbound as well. Inbound, exactly the same process. Yeah, inbound. You do this on inbound, you've got about a 30% contact rate.
Yep, so you got to get to inbounds fast. They have like even more research now from Zant that you like the inside sales stuff. The faster you hit these inbounds, the better. You know, just dive in on them in minutes, like in the first 5 minutes. If you get alert systems to be able to dive on that.
Absolutely.
Look, you've been a great sport. If you've proven anything, it's been just having a really positive attitude, and we've tried our best to get you to connect. I don't know if it's being across the date line or time of day, but you win some, you lose some. The important lesson is attitude. You can control your state of mind, and that's the key.
And what we'll do, let's do this again, right? But let's get a different data set, and I might get you to help me with the data set. Let's get a different time that you think is more suitable for the US market. I'll just get up earlier, man. Yeah, let's change it. Anyone, please connect with me on LinkedIn. You can bag me out. You can say, mate, you crashed, you burned. Happy to hear that. You can give me positive. You can give me some feedback. Say, hey, man, what if you tried this? What if you tried that? I'm up for it all. So, Justin, like, I've probably got 1 minute left. Probably not enough time. I might pause it. Just want to say thanks for asking me to be on this, man, and I'm sorry we couldn't get an appointment to show your the audience what's possible.
Oh, we believe in you, man. It's you win some, you listen. I give the story because when I competed, you know, I lost on the first round. I thought I was going to win the whole thing, you know, and I was up against Amir, and I didn't. Yeah, I
did Amir beat you?
Yeah, so Amir beat me on round 1, but now I'm just the MC. It's like I used to play golf, but I was better at being a caddy and eating Skittles from the golf course, so the golf cart. So that's actually, you know, I hope some people use the clubs, some people hand someone the clubs. I've learned this about life, so it's all good, man. I think it was great. I mean, it's just great getting the philosophy. It was more like a, in a way like a podcast, because we learned a lot from you. You shared a lot of great tips, and I'd love to do it again sometime. It's not the end. And let's see, we're getting to the very top of the hour. We can run it for a couple more minutes. I mean, you're seeing it move, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, just watching. I'm still on the dial. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah, on the 7. It's all right. So, 6 hang-ups, I can do that.
yeah, no, you had some connects. You had some tough ones. You had some tough folks that weren't ready to turn around, and that happens. Everyone watching, we're going to have 2 more fights tomorrow, Gabrielle Blackwell and Aaron Ross. It is revenuegarage.com, Rev Garage for short. And we want to thank Luigi Prestinenzi for coming on the fight and the show. There's going to be additional, ways that we can engage with you, man. So just, this is just it's a good lesson in cold calling and awareness. So thank you for getting up early, and thank you for participating. And, let's see. Any parting words? Any last philosophy?
Just like I said, not the outcome that I wanted. But again, this is what we love about sales, right? We can't control the way our prospects engage with us. We can't control, what our prospects and customers do. But I can control the way I react to it. I can control my mindset. And it's 1 hour. I've spent 1 hour. I've had, what did I have in the end? We had 6 people hang up on me, and I had 1 conversation. If I look at that again, that doesn't mean that my narrative was wrong. If we look at the things like, I don't have the skill to be an athlete, but if you look at the things Michael Jordan says, and some of the others, how many shots they missed in order for them to be successful. I'm okay missing six calls in the scheme of things. In the scheme of a data set of $300, I'm okay for 6 people to say to reject me. So again, success from this does not come from having a really well-crafted narrative. It comes from the mindset to just persist and keep going, okay, and consistency. If you expect the results from 1 day of prospecting every now and then, you probably have to change your expectation, okay? That's the reality of this. And don't let 1 call session define you as a sales pro, okay?
That's so true. Well, thanks, Luigi. We're going to stop the presses. We thank you for being on, and I think we're off of live now. Julia, are you there? Irina, are you there?